Hey, what's up you guys? Welcome back to another episode of Ramiji TV. And if you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm Ramiji and I read scary stories on the internet, so you don't have to do it alone. As you can tell by the title of the video, we're going to be talking about 10 creepy Christmas stories. So, hit that subscribe button, that like button, and turn on that bell notification. Because that's the only way you're going to keep Krampus away from you this year. Happy holidays, guys. Roll that intro. There is no need to adjust your TV set. What you are about to witness is the paranormal, the strange and the unusual. This is not for everyone. If you stay, viewer discretion is advised. You have been warned. This Celtic goddess is a hardcore Santa Claus, and not in the fun way. She came up in the Alpine regions around the Middle Ages as a sort of traditions police. She made sure cultural taboos didn't get tabooed during the 12 days of Christmas. She would roam the frozen countryside and sneak into people's homes. If the children and servants of the house had behaved and worked hard all year, she might have given them a small silver coin, hiding in a shoe or a pail. But if you were on the naughty list, Perta would slit their bellies open, remove all their guts, and stuff the body with straw and pebbles. To get this treatment, you didn't have to do much. Girls who hadn't spun all their flax into wool that year would become Christmas straw dolls. Or even if someone ate something they weren't supposed to on the day of feast, other than the traditional foods such as fish and gruel. So, everyone was up for grabs. We've all heard the story. Some of those more cultured than myself might have gone out and seen the ballet. Cute as the dance may be, the story is rather horrifying. It starts with a young girl named Marie. She receives a nutcracker for Christmas, which her brother breaks trying to crack a particularly large nut. She patches the doll up with a ribbon from her dress until her clockmaker godfather can properly fix it. That night, while everyone's asleep, Marie sneaks back downstairs to be with the Nutcracker. But as the clock strikes midnight, things go from a mildly creepy doll obsession to a full-blown horror movie. Rats pile into the house from seemingly nowhere, led by the 7-headed Mouse King. Marie finds herself magically shrunk down to a mouse's size, but luckily for her, all the other dolls, mainly soldiers, sprung to life and start battling the rats. And they are led by none other than the Nutcracker. It doesn't go too well for the dolls until Marie takes off her slipper and chucks it at the King Mouse, distracting him long enough for the Nutcracker to kill him. Marie passes out, and when she wakes up normal-sized, years later Marie professes her love for the Nutcracker, and that night finds herself doll-size again. This time, it's permanent, and spends the rest of her days living with the Nutcracker. A girl named Juliet is home alone, and she lives with her single mother, who is a nurse taking the night shift. Juliet just finished decorating the Christmas tree when there was a scratching on her door in their apartment. When she looked through the peephole, she sees a man dressed in a dirty Santa Claus suit. "It's Santa Claus," she says. Juliet may be 11 years old, but she's not an idiot. She refuses to open the door and threatens to call the police. When he doesn't want to leave, his solution to his little dilemma: an axe. Juliet hides in the closet while he bursts the door down. When he finds her, she manages to stab him in the eye with a coat hanger. And it all goes downhill from there. Juliet's mom finally manages to come home around midnight. She finds the door busted open and the Christmas tree decorated with bits of Juliet. Around Eastern Europe, there's a legend of the Krampus Goblins. These little monsters live underground throughout the year and only come out during the 12 days of Christmas. Most say they are more annoying than they are harmful, pulling pranks, causing mischief, and demanding piggyback rides from humans. But in Turkey, it's a different story. They hang out on the streets all night and ask seemingly ordinary questions to passerbyers. If you don't answer it correctly, the goblins will kill you. The correct answer is kara, Turkish for black. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. Another favorite hobby of the Krankenkloses is calling out people while imitating voices of their loved ones, luring them out into the cold in hopes that they freeze to death. The Precolichs are Roman werewolves of ancient lore, and they love Christmas. They're like dogs who adore winter because they get to roll around in the snow. When they're not killing people, that is. But the Precolichs werewolves are unique in that they don't reproduce by biting their victims. They are the hairy reanimated corpse of evil men who committed violent crimes and who just can't seem to get enough of that bloodletting. And if that's not bad enough, they won't stay dead. After the Precolichs dies, it comes back again, but this time as a vampire. You can't have a spooky Christmas list without Krampus. This guy is Saint Nick's evil twin with horns, hooves, and a long tongue. Many people think this guy lives in Germany, but he's also in Austria, the Czech Republic, Hungary, Slovenia, and northern Italy. While Saint Nick focuses on the good children, Krampus dedicates his attention to the less goody two-shoed. Tamer versions of Krampus have him doing nothing more than scaring kids and giving them lumps of coal, while their friends get candy from St. Nicholas. Sometimes he whips them into shape with a birch. The more hardcore version has him with a sack or a basket to kidnap children. Depending on who's telling the story, Krampus either eats them, drowns them, or sends them straight to hell. Those Europeans don't mess around. When the winter winds blow and the Yule fires are lit, it is best to stay indoors, safely shut away from the dark paths and the wild heaths. Those who wander out by themselves during the Yule nights may hear a sudden rustling through the treetops, a rustling that might be the wind, though the rest of the woods is still. But then the barking of dogs fill the air, and the host of wild souls weep down. Fire flashing from the eyes of the black hounds and the hooves of the black horses. This one takes multiple forms all across Europe. Viking thought it was led by Odin. Southern Europeans believed it was a crazy witch lady who babysat dead kids. Early Christian lore said it was a host of dead sinners and evildoers taking a vacation from hell. But everyone agreed the wild hunt was not for mortals. To see it in person was a very bad omen, like someone you love is dying this year. Based on the episode Seasons of Belief from Tales from the Dark Side, the Grither is a monster who lives in the North Pole. He's known for having basketball-sized hands and arms as long as boa constrictors, which he uses to reach into people's houses and squeeze their hands until they pop. He was created by fear, grief, and anger, the crew of the ship that got lost in the Arctic, before they all died. Oh, and I hope you're not reading this out loud. The Grither hates the sound of its own name. His victims are the ones who say it out loud. A defense attorney secretary, Johnson, decided to head to the Alps for the holidays. He asked his boss if he could borrow a kit bag for the trip, and the boss promised to have it sent to him by the end of the night. Earlier that day, the attorney had gotten a vicious murder a not guilty verdict by citing insanity. Nobody's really happy with the verdict, not even the attorney. Everyone believes he deserves to be hung. But whatever, it's not like it's gonna come back and bite him in the butt or anything. When Johnson gets home that night, the kit bag is waiting for him, and he starts packing up. But soon, he starts hearing footsteps in the hall. The kit bag starts moving around whenever he leaves the room. And then, of course, Johnson sees the murder and passes out. When he wakes up early the next morning, someone from his boss's office comes back with another kit bag explaining that there was a mix-up. Johnson had the bag from the murder case to hold his victim's body parts. And the killer? Why, he committed suicide last night. Why do you ask? Hans Trapp is another anti-Santa figure from French-German border region. Legend tells how Trapp began as a wealthy man, but greedy and evil to boot. He was so rotten that he was excommunicated by the Catholic Church and sold his soul to the devil. Now beyond redemption, Trapp was exiled to the forest. But still, his evil was felt, disguising himself as a scarecrow by stuffing straw into his clothes. He began to prey on children. One day, or so the legend says, Hans Trapp was about to eat a small boy he had captured when God, fed up with his evil doings, killed him with a bolt of lightning. However, this was not the end of Hans Trapp. He continued to roam the earth dressed as a scarecrow. Like Krampus, Hans Trapp teamed up with St. Nicholas, but to earn redemption. While St. Nicholas awarded presents to the virtuous, Hans Trapp tried to persuade naughty children to mend their ways and be virtuous, unlike him. Unlike Krampus, Hans Trapp has his origin in a historical persona. Hans van Troth, a 2-meter-high, late 15th century German knight with a terrible reputation. Von Troth had lands and castles on the German side of the border and was a tough nuisance to the church. Von Troth was involved in a land dispute with a local abbot. As part of the feud, he ordered the river blocked, depriving the nearby town of its water supply. When the abbot complained, Von Troth tore down the dam, flooding the little town, destroying its economy. In 1491, Von Troth even managed to get himself excommunicated after the same abbot complained about him to the Pope, and Von Troth isolantly refused to go to Rome to give his account of his behavior. Von Troth's sinister appearance, destructive behavior, and excommunication from the church all became mixed up in the myth, and after his death led to the creation of Hans Trapp, as a warning to children on how not to live their lives. However, the end of the real Hans Trapp was not some gruesome mystery, for Hans von Troth died quietly at his home of natural causes in his castle. Alright guys, that's all the time we have for today. Hopefully you enjoyed the stories, hopefully you enjoyed my channel. Give me some feedback so I know what you guys want to see in 2022, because this will be the last video of 2021. So, Happy New Year you guys. Hit that subscribe button, that like button, and turn on that bell notification. Thank you, happy holidays, and also, sweet dreams.